This is More Than Sports. Now, here's your host, Rick Rowling.
All right, everybody. Good day to you. We are here on More Than Sports podcast, and we're with a very good friend of ours, Mbayagi Kevin from Eldoret, Kenya. We've known Kevin for many years. A tremendous man of God, and a true hero of faith. One of the things we're doing is we know many people who are true heroes of the faith. We read in Hebrews chapter 11 that they're all the great men and women of God. And then it talks about others, and the others continue on to this day. And so there are heroes of the faith out there that we will never know about. They'll never get on TV. They'll never be the sort of same famous, but they're the true heroes. And Kevin's one of those heroes. So welcome, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us. And
I'm happy.
yeah, so we're about 8,000 miles apart, but I can hear you just fine.
Same here. And it's raining. Yeah, but I'm using the best network providers, so you can be sure my network is going to be okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you actually probably have better internet than we do. So
Well, I can't tell. I've not been to America. You have been to Kenya. You can tell that.
Let's so jump into this, Kevin, if you would. You work with the International Sports Academy, and you're doing. Why don't you just give a little update of what you're currently doing and how you're using sports, and then we're actually going to have you tell some of your life story. So go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rick. Um, my Basically, I am working so hard with ISA to make sure that I send the message of hope to at-risk kids and as well as youths in various slums here in Adoret and around the country as well, as the Lord blesses. Because I know one of the things that people lack out here is, someone to tell them that this is not permanent. This is just temporarily, and it's a season you're just passing through. And once you're done with it, then the Lord will be able to see you through. So yeah, I am going around meeting young boys, teenagers, youths, and also girls who are playing various sports, talk to them, mentor them, encourage them, giving them hope. And of course, by the help of ISA, we get also to support their activities that they get to do in their estates.
It's really amazing, and you're actually because we worked with you for a week. You were with us in different places. Well, we've been over there a couple times, but the last time we worked with you, and then you just started taking this place. It's pretty easy, isn't it? What you're
Yeah.
finding.
Yeah. It's amazing. I feel like I'm connected to whatever I'm doing. Like when we get to talk about me growing up and all that, you realize that I'm doing this from my heart. And that's why I enjoy every time I am supposed to go meet a team. I'm supposed to go meet some boys, some girls, talk to them. I always make sure I avail myself, regardless of the distance, because I know that they can be changed. And truth be told, if International Sports Academy was not there, um, many of these people will be lost by now.
Right. Let's because what you're talking about is you're talking about hope. You're talking about having quality adults helping you. You're specifically doing a lot of work in uh, poverty areas, slum areas, and even as I hear you talk here, you're talking about hope. This can be temporary. You don't have to live. You don't have to settle. You don't have to. This is not your destiny to live in a hopeless society, a hopeless place. And you don't just say those words. You lived it. You came out of that. Can you tell a little bit of your story? Because it's an amazing story. I want people to hear what God can do when people are offered some opportunities and, and receive hope. So tell us your story. It's an amazing story.
Thank you so much. This is a whole series, but I'll try to make it a short film. Yeah, I was born and raised in a slum. Um, here in Eldoret is one. It's actually the third, ranked number three, biggest slum in Eldoret, and I grew up from a very, very humble home. Going to school was a struggle. Growing up in an area where crime is, the language that most people understand. In an area where immorality, in an area whereby drug abuse, like all sorts of things you can imagine. Now, here I am, born in that circle, and I need to live differently. I must say, it's challenging. Yes, it comes as well with having strict parents, but I really won't say it took them. I'll just say it took God to have me go through this. So, born in the slums, struggled through my primary school, struggled through my high school. At some point, I wanted to give up because, I didn't have enough school fees, and my deputy principal was always on my neck. I felt, I
Yep.
felt the pressure was too much. I almost gave up. Like I literally almost gave up. But my then principal, may her soul rest in peace, she talked to me and she gave me, some hope to
Mhm.
keep going. But all through in the slums, I will say soccer helped me big time, Pastor Rick, because I gave it 101% attention, knowing that I'm gifted, I'm multi gifted. I always say that I have the golden hands, golden mind, and everything. So I used to play soccer. In the morning, I could wake up as early as 5 a.m., go for a road walk, come back, relax, go to the field midday so that I can train under the hot sun, so that I can just adopt the temperatures in case I go play in a high temperature, temperatured place. In the evening as well, I'm back in the field. Now this was helping me, to shut my mind from thinking about joining some group of young boys. Because Rick, I can tell you for sure, kids get lost in that particular estate even
Yep.
at the age of 10.
Mhm.
At the age of 10, girls start getting early pregnancies as early as 13, 12 years.
Mhm.
Like it's really bad. The picture is really bad, and I'll say soccer helped me. So I used to play, despite the fact that I never had the privilege of owning even a soccer boot. Um, Never had the privilege of having all that is required to play soccer.
Mhm.
Now I kept on going. I kept on going, and I was quite in discipline. I mean, being from the slum, I mean, there are some of the things that I don't know where they come from, but I was quite in discipline in the field, and I was good. I was a good striker, but in
Sure.
discipline. So my coach had a problem working with me, being in discipline and being good. And
Mhm.
he used to be one guy who loves discipline. So I used to be suspended a number of times. But I decided the reason why I chose Christ Way is because one time I was, should I say, signed by another team, but that is local. There's no contract signing and all stuff. So, but this team, it was playing under the support of IVC Church, where I fellowship today. Yes. And then one of the rules that were there was that if you must play soccer in this particular team, every Sunday, we all go to church to pray.
Mhm.
Every Sunday, we are supposed to go to church. For you to be part of this team, that was a policy. So, I mean, I wasn't a church person. I didn't know Christ by then. But since I love soccer, I've been given an opportunity to play for a better team.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it's fine. I'll just wake up. I'll just go to church. I mean, it's just going to church. But then that just going to church, slowly by slowly, it impacted my life. I started realizing that, you know what, being coming from the slum, being brought up from a poor family, it's not even the end. I mean, that does not determine my tomorrow. It doesn't even have an impact on my destiny. You know, God has plans for me, as recorded in the book of Jeremiah. So I knew that this is going to shape my life.
Mhm.
From soccer, now I am in church. And I started loving church more than I loved soccer. Now I could miss going for practice, but I could never miss going to church on Sunday. I mean, this just happened very nicely. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Here it is. And then due to growing up, I went to university. That was another struggle. I deferred 2 years. I stayed out of campus for two and a half years, actually, you know, because of school fees and stuff. I used to hustle hard to try and pay my school fees. But, you know, I'm growing up. Responsibility keep on adding. You know, I wouldn't just sit there and work for school fees alone. I realized like, oh, now I'm living alone. I need to also work for my house rent. I need to do this. I need to do this. But you see, growing up, these things were part of me. I used to work in a local hotel while in high school. I could come from school. I studied in a day school. You know, we have boarding schools here in Kenya where students camp for 3 months without going home. But for me, actually, you're considered lucky and, you know, from a good family. That's not true. But once you go to a boarding school, there is a class you're in here in Kenya. But I was in a day school, so I could study until around 10 p.m. because we had no electricity in the house. I first saw electricity when I was in the university. So, yeah, I could go cook in a hotel, then go to the house, sleep, wake up tomorrow, go to school. I get, you know, like, let me put it in dollars. Like, I could be paid like $10 in a whole month.
Mm.
That was like, yeah, $10 in a whole month. Sometimes I could just get $1 one day, just $1 or two for working for 1 week. So it used to be like that. But I mean, it helped me, you know, buy a book, a pen, and you know, shoe polish to brush my shoes so that I don't look like I am really dying the next minute in school. Yeah, so you know, I became part of church now. I became the part of body of Christ. I gave my life to Jesus, and I realized like, whoa, man, everything that God has given humanity, we are supposed to use it to glorify Him. And that's why I feel good associated with ISA because I know, like, if we can just tap on what people love the most, they love sports. Like, sports is the most celebrated kind of activity in the whole world. This way, we will be able to, you know, lead so many people and save so many lives. Souls will come to Jesus because it happened for me. It really, really happened for me. I went to a team to play soccer. The team pushed me to church, and now I stopped playing soccer, but I never, ever stopped going to church.
Let's jump back on it. Yeah, this is, man, this is amazing, Kevin. What's Your life is an amazing thing, and we're, you know,
Thank
we
you.
feel very privileged that you're one of our partners. But
Thank
I
you.
want to jump back into, because IVC, which is the church, International Vision Center Church, we're very good friends with them. That's the church that we partner with in Eldoret, and I love how simple that was in a way. Now it was big in your life, but what they were doing was pretty simple. They had a soccer team,
Yeah.
you wanted to play for it, and and it wasn't just like, oh, let's get him to go to church. They were then offering you hope. They were offering relationships, right? You met.
Uh,
Talk about that. The people you met when you started fellowshipping there, because this is what we want. We don't want just to share a one time listen to this. We want to connect people and have them have relationships. Talk about how your
yes.
relationships have developed.
Great. Now, when I started going to church, I met, by then he was the youth pastor, Pastor Henry. and Pastor Henry was so good. I mean, he embraced me
Mhm.
on a personal level. On a personal level, and Pastor Henry, up to date, we are very close. He's like, someone I can talk to whenever I want a prayer partner, actually. So he took me in. You know what? He took me in and he started taking me through discipleship. That was an amazing class I ever attended. I went through discipleship classes and I got connected from Pastor Henry. I stepped on and on and on until one time I met my bishop, Bishop Licavo, and I was nervous and stuff. But Bishop talked to me. Bishop was happy to know that I am just a slum boy, a street boy who, decides to play soccer, but now he loves being in church more than playing soccer. And that, let me tell you, Pastor, that was the kind of vision a bishop had for that particular
Right.
team. For him to support that initiative was to bring the youths to church.
Exactly.
It's just for them to bring them to church and then speak the word of God to them, and then get them connected to God, have an intimacy with Christ. Now, for me, I got connected, Pastor Henry, and then he took me leadership, discipleship classes. I learned one or two. I became, an ambassador of Christ,
Mhm.
connected to various people. And by growing up, I met my youth pastor now, who is Pastor Dan,
Mhm.
and it has been amazing. I'm now a youth leader in that church,
Right.
and it gives me the kind of strength to know it's good to serve Jesus. It's
It,
amazing.
it is, and the people you're talking to, I mean, not that you would ever be lying, but I can verify all this. I've been there. I know all these people. I know your story.
Yeah,
I know what you do now, because you're
yeah,
not just now attending or whatever. This is a large church you're involved with. There's a couple
yeah.
thousand people, and you're actually a very key person. I mean, you're doing a lot of the video stuff, the production stuff, the camera stuff, the discipling of young people, working on the ISA sports ministry with them. So you really found a purpose too. You just didn't attend something, just didn't make a friend.
Yeah,
They helped you to find out, like you said, and how Jeremiah says he's got plans for you, and helped
yeah,
you to really find your place, because it's a big thing. See, like if somebody wants to help somebody who's, let's say, in poverty, um
mhm.
uh, a $10 bill is not the answer,
It's not.
because you need hope, you need a purpose, you need significance, you need relationships. I mean, you need all the
Yes,
things that when like in your soccer team you got connected to, like when the ISA connects people to
yes,
IVC, that's what we need. And so you're a complete whole story of how somebody's helped. And so it's absolutely a tremendous thing. You talked about when you were playing soccer. I like how you said, if you're talented and undisciplined, that's a bad combination. So,
yeah. Very bad,
we,
very bad.
as a coach, I know that's true. I see it all the time. But you were able to get help with discipline, and then you caught a vision, didn't you? You caught a vision for who you are and what you could do. Can you share how your mindset began to change?
Now, one thing I used to believe that I am the best.
Mhm.
Like I am the best in this team. You can't do without me.
Mhm.
That was a wrong notion. So I used to believe like, you know what, they don't have any other better striker than me. I mean, by then I was playing under 14, under
Mhm.
14, and I could be the top scorer like from time to time, various tournaments. My job was to score goals, but now I was very indisciplined. I could get red carded anytime, anytime. Now, one time I was suspended by my coach, of course, and then after being red carded in a previous match, this was quite an emotional moment.
Mhm.
We lost the finals. We lost the finals, and the coach came to me and said, I'll quote his words. This is your loss.
Mm.
He said it in Swahili, but yeah, that's what he meant. This is your loss. Um, but still, it didn't sink on me, Rick. It didn't sink in me. I just saw it like it's normal. I mean, it's soccer. Anyone wins, anyone loses. I mean, it's not a guarantee. But then, um, one time there was a group that was doing literally almost what I say is doing, but to them was the purpose of peace. After Kenya experienced the election violence, and then once they came to my estate, and then I was called because I also used to avail myself. Like I used to avail myself whenever I'm needed. And then I was called. We had some session. They had booklets that they used to teach us, telling us how you can be good and you can be very, very good when you're disciplined. They showed us why we should love one another. They showed us why teamwork is everything. I could not be a top scorer if I didn't receive that pass from that midfielder. Couldn't have scored. Our team couldn't have won if our goalkeeper was not keen enough to make those saves. So they took me through it. They showed me the way. But now I was at the verge of losing my football life, something that I loved a lot, my soccer life, because my coach was a bit tired with me. Then I've been trained and not changing. He was a bit tired, honestly, and he wanted to kick me out of the team. He actually sent people to tell me that I should not even go for training ground. Uh, I started connecting things, Rick. I started trying to see where do I want soccer to take me the next few years. Do I really want to impact lives? Do I really want to make life out of my talent? Do I want to be successful with this talent? Then I think I needed to be disciplined. This became a very serious topic even in a family meeting. My dad, who was a friend to the then coach, talked to me and said, Kevin, I won't have you being in discipline out here because you're also embarrassing me. So it took various people to help me get back on track, and eventually it happened. And going to church as well, getting connected to IVC, sharpened me fully. By the time I was in church, I was pure disciplined soccer player.
It's such a great thing because even maybe young people are listening to this who even in America or wherever, but it's the mindset that shapes your actions. And so you began
Yes.
to see that I'm actually hurting the team, I'm hurting myself, hurting my future. And so your
Yep.
mind started to shift. And especially as you got with you, be it your coach, the relationships there, as well as the great people at IVC. And so a
Yes.
big shift in there. So you're pretty passionate, I know this, about reaching out to young people because you want to help them uh, in the same way you were helped. And so right now you're looking and you're working, of course, with IVC, but you're also because you're working with the ISA at large, you're going to other places and helping them start their sports ministries. What's the passion that drives you though? Because it's not easy. If you go to a club that's an hour or two away, it's a complicated process, right? You're jumping in
Yep.
a matatu or a boda or whatever you're doing. And so it's complicated. What drives you to go into these places and help these young people?
Yep. When I was growing up, being a top scorer 2 times in a league consecutively, and then I needed someone to tell me, like, Kevin, tomorrow is brighter. I needed someone to hold my hand and just show me that it's going to
Mhm.
be okay. Sometimes there is hope. There is hope, and knowing where I came
Mhm.
from, Rick, these young people here, they just want that sign, someone just to hold them, someone just to tell them, whatever you are doing is good. Whatever you're doing is good, but you just need to connect it with what God wants you to do, with your purpose, in your gift.
Right.
So this is pushing me, because I am doing this from my heart, because they lack hope. You know, to be a good soccer player, but when you go to look at your bag, you don't even have a soccer boot. Your team does not even have a ball. I mean, just one soccer ball. It's devastating. You don't
Yeah.
know, where you're going to get something like even socks, because this is
Yeah.
just poor kids in the slums, and they can't. Any 5 shilling they get, they just think of buying some snack, and because they're not sure of the next meal.
Right.
So you can't tell that kid to save and buy a boot, because it's really close to impossible. So I'm driven to do this, because I just want to show them that, you know what, there are people out here who care about you.
Mhm.
There are people out here who care about what you're doing, and they care mostly about your purpose in life, in line with what God has in store for you. So I
Yep.
do this to promote hope in the lives of young people. I
Right.
do this to make sure that these young people, they don't get lost, because no, I don't have we don't have a soccer ball, so we are not going to train. Instead, let me go and get myself involved in crime activities.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to give them hope. Uh,
Yeah.
I believe,
Yeah.
like, once someone has the hope, we are good.
Oh boy, hope is everything, right? Because no matter what circumstance you're in, if you have hope, you can get
Yeah.
through it. I
Yes.
always tell people, I said, if you don't just want to get through something, you want to go to something. So
To
you
something.
got to see something. You got to see something out there, and that's hope. And then if
Yeah.
I'm looking at something out there, I can get through this whatever I'm in now. And like you said, a lot of these young people, they're in really difficult situations. So it's not
Yeah.
weird to not minimize that at all. But the only way through it is to have hope. And when somebody like you or a larger ISA team shows up and they see somebody from the outside loves them, and there's hope and they believe in
Yep.
them. And so what
Yep.
you're doing is absolutely tremendous. It's very exciting. And so we always love getting the reports back from you, and whether it's a
Thank you.
weekly thing or however it is very good. We need to be done here in a second, but just to give an update, you are now you have an acting career where you're doing some acting, very
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
stuff. You're doing a lot of photography and modeling, even on billboards and advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
At one of the coffee shops we go to over there is a huge billboard out front, and you're advertising for some business, so
Yeah.
some computer
Yeah.
company or whatever. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, though, I'm just you're quite an example, quite an inspiration for me and for anybody who hears this, and
Thank you.
obviously to any young people that you're able to go and have contact with. And like you said too, I want to really encourage people with this, as simple as like even the room where I'm sitting at, I can see 3 soccer balls from where I'm sitting. Um, it can change a person's life, can it? It really can when
Yes.
that shows up, and to give them hope and that significance and feeling like, wow, somebody thinks I'm important enough to give me this. And so it doesn't take a lot. I always say if everybody does something, we can change the
Yeah.
world. So whatever
Very
that
true.
something is, whether it's a $10 bill or going and hugging a kid or a meal, everybody do something and we can change the world. So um, my brother Kevin, God bless you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We need to do more of this because you have a whole story. We just touched on one little aspect, and we're
True.
proud of you. I know that people who are watching this, they'll be encouraged. They'll be praying for you, and even supporting the cause that's going on over there with the ISA and with your work and loving these kids and seeing many of them fulfill
Yeah.
the call on their lives. So God bless you, brother. We love you so much.
Thank you so much. God bless you too.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today on the More Than Sports podcast. If you like what you're hearing, we have others. We try to come out with one every week. You can check them all out at morethansports.net. That's morethansports.net. Go there, subscribe, share it with other people, tell your friends about it,
and hope you're encouraged every time you tune in.